So a lot of people have been asking recently, how do you remove the headlights on the Giulietta for either changing the bulbs or just general maintenance? Strictly speaking, you don't actually need to take the headlights out to change the bulbs. You can do them in the car, but I thought we'd go through anyway, have a look, see how to take them out both on the driver's side and the passenger side. So with the bonnet open, we can see the first fixing, which is just a 10mm bolt here. As far as I know, there's 3 fixings, but as we go through, I'm sure we'll find out definitely. But there's one 10mm bolt here. There's a T55 Torx screw here, and then what we should find as well, inside underneath the bumper, there's another fixing around here. So we'll start off with this first one here. Next, we've got a T55 Torx screw. Although strictly speaking, this doesn't actually fix the headlighting, what it does do is allow us to get some flex on the bumper so that when we try to pull the headlight out, we should be able to get some more manoeuvrability. Next up, the third fixing that I know about is the fixing that's hidden behind the bumper here. So for those of you that have watched the how to remove the bumper video, you'll have seen the fixing that's hidden behind here. So let's go back and have a look at that video now. We're going to do another video at some stage as well about how to remove the headlights. We know that there's this kind of hidden bolt there, so that's a handy tip to be able to look out for next time when we do that without having to remove the front bumper. We'll just be able to remove this lining or release the lining and get our hands up so that we can remove that. Over on the other side, exactly the same with the headlight. We can see the fixings that we've got there as well, so that'll be useful. So to help us access this hidden screw behind here, it needs to be done from inside the wheel arch here. So you can see that there's a few Phillips screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, just about there. So we're just going to remove them now. Okay, so with those 4 screws removed, what we can now see is that we can pull this kind of lining to the side of it, mostly all the way from the top as well. It just gives us enough access to get our hand up and access the fixing on the inside here. So I think it's 10mm bolt, so we've just got a 10mm socket. So I'm just going to get in there and try and release that now. Okay, so trying to get my hand in there and release this fixing has proved a little bit too difficult. So what I'm going to do, just inside here you can see there's a T30 Torx screw. I'm just going to undo that, and that will allow us just to pull the side of the bumper out a little bit. So I'll just do that now. Okay, so just with that T30 Torx screw removed there, to pull the bumper away, it's just basically grab it here as we did in the other video, just give it a little tug, and then you can see all these fixings. They just come around the front here. You just got these little clips, and then that should hopefully allow us, when we pull that panelling back, to get our arm up in there with enough room to get that fixing out. So let's give that a go. Okay, so after a while we've managed to get that fixing out. Took a little while to come out, to be fair, but yeah, it's out now. Okay, so with those fixings out, the headlight now feels like it's loose. If I can just show you, we've got some movement obviously wobbling around, but because it's right in this behind the bumper here, I can't actually see how it would come out without taking the bumper off. So I'll persevere for a few minutes, but it may be that we do need to take the bumper off to get these out, but I'll have a look and have a go. Okay, so I've got it nearly out, but I think we just need a bit more flex on the bumper. So I'm just going to remove this second T55 screw here. Okay, so with that second Torx screw removed, just around here, wherever it was, let's give it a go. There we go. Okay, so with the headlight out, what I noticed just at the top point, this pin here just seemed to kind of be locating around here somewhere. It was just a little bit tight, so we just had to be careful with that as I was pulling it out, just to make sure that that came out. But yeah, in essence it was kind of move it to the side. It's quite tight on this front corner here, so just watch out how it's coming out of there. But then yeah, removing it, obviously you've got the cables on the back for your connections for your bulbs, and then you can just rest the headlight on the side here up there, and then we can get to all the bulb connections. Looking at the plugs, we've just got 2 plugs on here, so there's a nice straightforward simple one here, a bit like the fog light one. Just got the clip on there to remove that, and then on this one, which I'm guessing is for the main headlight, we've got the 2 grey clips there. Okay, so looking a bit closer at this grey plug, what we can see, we've got this kind of locating pin just on the top here. So I'm guessing to pull it out, what we need to do is release this grey collar. So I'm guessing it slides up or something just by pushing it up. Yep, there we go. And then that should allow us to release it, I'm guessing. Okay, so that allows us to obviously remove the plug. Whether or not we need to do that, I'll have a quick look. It looks like we might just be able to turn it a quarter of a turn that way to remove it. I'll plug it back on and we'll have a look. So having thought about it, other than actually removing the plug for replacing the unit, I don't think you'd actually need to take that out anyway. I'm guessing it's just the electrical intake into the main body of the headlight unit. There's no bulb directly in line with this, so I'm guessing in actual fact you shouldn't need to take it out. So I'll leave it there, and we'll just look at trying to get this back in now. Okay, so having got to this point, what I've kind of found is that you needed to kind of come up high at the back here so your electrical connections are clear, kind of go low in here, and then obviously get this lug in underneath the bumper here. Hopefully from here I should just be able to rotate it up. As this comes up, this end should go back down, obviously watching the corner of the wing here, and then just checking your connections, making sure they're not fouling anything either. So let's carry on and get it the rest of the way in. Okay, great stuff. So it's a bit fiddly, but hopefully, yeah, you can see that it's gone in, it's gone back into alignment nicely. Again, I think probably trickiest bit was just up here, that little lug that I said about on the corner of the fitting, just making sure that that doesn't fail. But yeah, other than that, all good. So I'm going to get these fixings back in, this fixing back in. We'll get the fixing in here, the 10mm hidden one, and then we can just seam all this back together, and then we'll do the other side. Okay, so with all those fixings back in, everything back together, I thought now would be a good time just to check, make sure that we haven't compromised everything and all the bulbs are working. So I'll just turn all the lights on. So our running lights, there's our dip beam, and there's our main beam. So everything's fine, that's great. I love the way the frame rate makes these LEDs do that. I think that's brilliant. If only they did it for real, right? I should probably point out as well that I just checked for any error messages on the dashboard. It said bonnet open, I think door open because I had the door open at the time. Other than that, it was all fine. Okay, so now we come on to this side. We've got exactly the same fixings wise. We've got the T55, so I'll take this one out. I'll take that one out straight away as well. We've got the 10mm nut straight on the top. We're going to have the same inside the wheel arch here, just with the T30 torque screw here, the 1, 2, 3, 4 Phillips screws. Then we'll just pop the bumper forward again, and then yeah, see if that does the same, and we can take the unit out. Okay, I thought I'd try and film this one from a different angle so you can see what I was talking about with the locating pin here. But I guess first things first, we need to understand is that all the fixings for this headlight. So like I say, I've never done this before, so let's give it a go, see if it wants to move. Okay, so it seems pretty much that it's either getting stuck on the corner of the battery here, or it gets stuck on the corner here. Obviously we can't come forward because it runs behind the bumper here. We can't take it. We're trying not to take the bumper off. So it's either loosen off the battery and move it to the side to give us enough room to flex this out, or it will be a case of needing to take the bumper off. So I think what I'll do, I'll just loosen this off, see if I can move the battery over slightly without disconnecting it, obviously very carefully, and then yeah, see if that gives us some more working room. Okay, so that option of moving the battery over without disconnecting it is not possible. We're not going to be able to move it out, but we're doing that. It's simply, or maybe you can. I've not been able to though. Been able to get it out because of this fouling on there basically. So what I'm going to try and do is actually remove the other two T55s and just see if we can pull this forward a little bit more, just like we did in how to remove the bumper video, and that might be enough just to get some clearance around here that we can kind of pull it forward and out this way. So I'll get these two off and then we'll have another go. Okay, so with those out, this one and the one just behind here, let's give it a little pull forward. I think we should get a lot more working room. So we've got this little locator here, we just kind of lift that up slightly and then just kind of give it a little tug forward. On the left hand side, these ones here kind of clip over the top, and then yeah, you can see we've got quite a lot of room there, so hopefully that might give us enough room around here. You can see there's quite a lot more room there. You can see the fixing for the headlight has come quite free there, so maybe that might be enough. So let's give that a go. Okay, so I thought it was probably worth highlighting as well, just on this side. It was the same on the other side as well, to be fair, but just on this side, in front of this screw, there's a little locating lug there, so when you lift it up, when you remove this screw, it's just a case of kind of lifting it up, and it just allows that one to come a lot freer. So now with our bumper more free, should we say, giving us a lot more flexibility there, let's give it another go, see if we can get this out. So there we go, it is possible, it will come out. It was really tight, cobweb, it was really tight on this corner here. So to overcome that, what I really had to do was obviously make sure that that was pulled forward and kind of get as much flex on the bumper to come forward as possible, which kind of released it just up here. You can see where it's, I'll get the sun on it, there we go, you can see where it's kind of rubbing against there. But yeah, it felt like it was snagging a little somewhere else as well, and then suddenly it all just went. Perhaps it was this on this element down here, and I kind of pulled it maybe that way a little bit, pulling it forward. I'm guessing it might have cleared the battery a little as well. So but yeah, there we go, you can remove it without taking the bumper off, or without taking the bumper off fully, shall we say. We're taking enough of the fixings off that it would probably be easier just to go around and actually remove it in you know, fairness, but yeah, you can remove it without taking it off. What we got in terms of plugs on this one, we've got the main plug on here. It's quite interesting, have we not got the other plug on this one? No, we've just got the one connection on this one, so not sure what the difference is there, but yeah, that's useful to know. Obviously that can come off and then we can take the fitting away. Maybe I'll just do that to show you. Okay, so I think it's the same again on this one. We've got this grey clip and we've got this kind of locating pin at the top there, so as we push that up, it allows us to then, if I remember rightly, does that come up? Yep, there we go, it just comes away like that, and then obviously that allows us to take our headlight out the way, buy a brand new one, replace it if we needed to, and then when we got a new one, or when we want to put this back on, just pop it back in, if I can grab it without pushing it across the bonnet, and then put that plug back on, which yeah, should then be all back together. There we go, so that goes back on, clip down, and that's it, all done. I thought actually while it's off, I'd take the opportunity just to have a look inside some of these covers. I'm guessing this is where we replaced the bulbs. Just pulled it off gently, and then yeah, we can see one of the bulb straightforward connection in there, if that focuses, and then we've got, I guess, another one here. Yep, looking all good anyway. And then I think that one there is the indicator, slightly different. I'm guessing that's a screw fix or something like that. Yep, that's unscrewing, but we won't take that off for now. So yeah, I think that's it. for the bulbs. I'm guessing the LEDs are built into the fitting, so if you needed to replace your LEDs, you'd need to replace the fitting. But yeah, that's hopefully that's a helpful little insight into the back end or the behind of one of those fittings. Right, let's get it back in. Okay, there we go, that's mostly in. Again, it seemed like it felt there was something down in this area that it was just snagging on. Again, this corner and just the corner of the battery was snagging as well. So I think now it's in, basically it'll just be a case of lining it up properly, and that should be it all back in. Obviously then we can get all the fixings back on, turn the lights on, make sure everything's okay, and then that should be us all done. Okay, so daylight running lamps, and dip beam, and main beam as well. There we go, all back together. Everything's back in, all the fixings are in, the bumper's back on, the battery strap is back on, the headlights are working, there's no error messages on the dashboard or anything like that. All of our T55s are back together. We're all done. So can you remove the headlights without removing the bumper? The answer is yes. Would you want to? Well, given the fact that we removed every fixing other than a host of about 10 or 15 T30 Torx screws underneath the front now, I think it'd probably be easier just to take that off. If you've enjoyed it, give us a like. Hopefully you subscribed. If not, subscribe up here somewhere. But yeah, for now, hopefully that's been useful, and see you on the next one. Thanks very much.